This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, a Dunedin couple is facing a tough choice after they encounter retaining wall issues. Youngsters have taken up the challenge of learning how to build at the New Zealand Science Festival. And Dunedin's Bell Hill apartments are open for business after their building's transformation is completed. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. A Dunedin couple are dismayed to find out they may need to pay up to $100,000 to replace a wall near the edge of their property that was built by the subdivision developer. And if they don't, they could receive a fine of up to $200,000 from the local city council.
Dunedin couple Himanshu Dua and Renu Anand are battling paperwork about an open culvert next to their home. The couple have been told the wooden retaining wall is substandard and starting to bulge, threatening the safety of their house. It was 3 years ago that they chose this section at the Gladstone Heights subdivision in Mosgiel to build their dream home, with the wall being put in by the subdivision's developer.
In 2018 we came here and to see the section. We loved the place. We thought that's where our dream home is going to be, and so we approached GJ Gardeners to build a house for us, and everything was going so good until we wanted to get the landscaping done, and that's where stress came our lives very fast, and it's been very stressful since then.
It's estimated it could cost the couple up to $100,000 to replace the now bulging wooden wall with something more sturdy, such as a rock wall, which was shown on the original Dunedin City Council approved plans. The council has threatened them with a fine of up to $200,000 if they don't repair the wall.
And then we get the blame to fix it.
Yeah.
How fair is that?
The council says the situation is a civil matter between the landowner and the developer. But the developer says the couple created the problem by raising the site when building the house.
We've been approached DCC so many times. There's no outcome.
We just wanted them to help us with getting this fixed, like going to the developers and ask them to fix it because they have done this in the first place. We haven't.
In Dunedin, the South Today.
A jury in the Invercargill High Court last night found a Balclutha man not guilty of murdering his wife in May last year. In the 8-day-long trial, Rodney Fallowfield had admitted he killed Shirley Reddy while they were on a belated honeymoon last year. But he denied that he intended to kill her when he was strangling her in a Te Anau motel room. A majority jury found Fallowfield not guilty of murder. All 12 jurors found him guilty of manslaughter, and he is remanded in custody to appear for sentencing in October. Big foam building blocks and pipes are allowing children to explore their architectural ambitions. Called the Imagination Playground, the event is just one of the many at the Science Festival currently running in Dunedin.
Is it a castle or a rocket ship? The Imagination Playground at the New Zealand International Science Festival in Dunedin provides all shapes and sizes of foam blocks and pipes for children to let their ideas of construction run riot.
The Imagination Playground is really there as a mechanism to explore curiosity and design and engineering. So kids and parents and grown-ups get to explore using nice, safe, big, lightweight foam blocks.
Dunedin mother Sabrina Reagan says she's impressed with how the blocks encourage not only thoughts on design, but also cooperation and teamwork.
I think not just the science part of the physics, but also working together, negotiating with others, making sure that they're thinking about helping others and how to encourage other people to participate in your own projects as well. So I like the social development that comes along with this, along with the science and the learning.
The Science Festival falls on the first week of the school holidays, and Reagan says there's been several other affordable events she's taken her family to, with more still to come.
So we visited with the Aquavan demonstration down at the Dunedin South Library, and then we are also going to check out the programming tonight at Moana Pool. And then we also have done the building things over at Mitre 10. So we built a rat trap yesterday, actually 3 rat traps yesterday. And then we're going to build an insect hotel tomorrow.
The Science Festival is set to run until Sunday. In Dunedin, the South today.
2 people have been taken into custody after police attempted to stop a stolen vehicle in South Otago yesterday afternoon. Police say officers had attempted to stop a stolen vehicle in Balclutha and deployed spikes when the car refused to stop. The vehicle was not stopped and police did not pursue the vehicle, which was found abandoned a short time later. Several police vehicles cordoned off a section of State Highway 1 about 8 kilometres south of Balclutha. Police dogs were used to track the occupants of the vehicle. Police say the pair had been referred to Youth Aid in relation to a burglary in Dunedin, where the vehicle was taken. A historic central Dunedin building has been given a new lease of life, inspired by its former occupants. Investment House in Moray Place, opposite First Church, has undergone an 18-month restoration.
In 2004, Dunedin accountant Andrew Bosworth bought the 120-year-old Investment House building for his accountancy business, with plans to develop it.
So over the following 15 years or so, we came up with all sorts of different iterations to develop the building. The first one was apartments, so we went a little way down the track to develop apartments at that point, but it didn't work out in the end.
The redevelopment was designed by Oamaru heritage architect Ian Butcher, and Bosworth says after the initial false start, the decision was made to keep the bottom floor as office space and transform the second floor into 4 upmarket apartments.
So we let it lie for a bit longer, and eventually we came back to the apartment idea in about 2017, 18, and haven't looked back.
The building was gutted and the initial build time was expected to be 9 months. But COVID-19 related delays meant it took 18 months and was finally completed in April. The name Bell Hill Apartments comes from the site Investment House sits on, which was cleared to connect North and South Dunedin in the 1860s. Bosworth says the building's heritage was paramount in their decision making.
Making sure that this building stays around for another more than 100 years, and the fact that we were able to achieve that is something that we're proud of. And we also made sure that we did retain a lot of the heritage features of the building.
Each of the 4 apartments is named after Investment House's former owners and occupants. And Bosworth says the history of the building was researched, so each apartment represents the former occupier. In Dunedin, the South today.
Still to come on the South today. A crash barrier is installed to make a Dunedin road safer, and we have this week's episode of Football Chat, so catch this and more after the break.
Be sure to tune in to Football Chat every week, where we chat about local football fixtures, results and everything else that's happening in the local game.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. We have a massive manufacturer's clearance plus There's liquidated stock from our suppliers. For example, we have cotton casual trousers from 1990, dress trousers from 1990, merino zip pullovers, fashion shirts, warm winter shirts, jackets. There's a great deal on overcoats, blazers and suits. Come and check out our jeans. We're known for our jean selection.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Come in and see the massive manufacturer's clearance at Alex Campbell Menswear.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
Welcome back. A nearly $49,000 crash barrier has been installed on a Dunedin road after residents feared someone could be killed when cars leave the road.
A shiny new Armco-style barrier has been erected on the corner of Musselburgh Rise and Andersons Bay Road, where many cars have left the road in previous years. In March, a car ploughed through the fence of Lisa Linden's Royal Crescent property, landing on top of her ute. It was the second time in 18 months a car had crashed through their fence. Linden urged the Dunedin City Council to take action, saying someone was going to end up being killed on that stretch of road. DCC Transport Group Manager Janine Benson says work to install a safety barrier outside Miss Linden's property began in mid-June and was completed earlier this month. The council estimates the cost to be about $49,000 and says the barrier is intended to prevent cars leaving the road on that corner. In Dunedin, the South Today.
In this week's episode of Football Chat, Matt Kelly and Rahan Ali discuss the state of play with Harry Fraser from the Northern Club and Amy Hislop from University Women's.
Hello and welcome to this week's Football Chat. Plenty of football to be chatted with our guests today, Harry Fraser from Northern and Amy Hislop from University Women's. Welcome.
Yes, welcome to our guests and welcome back to you, the viewers. We love to have you here.
Let's talk about Northern and the season you've had. How have you found the season so far?
Obviously it's been an improvement on the last couple of years, as everyone knows. It was great to get some results on the board after a couple of years, but I think internally a bit of disappointment for the players and coaches because I think we know we're capable of even a bit more than we've given.
So, on to you, Amy. You've been out with injury, you've had a concussion, now you're back. How was your first game back in the weekend? Queenstown, obviously I lost 1-0, but how was it? Run us through the game.
It was a bit, I think it was just one of those games, to be honest. We seemed to have a lot of possession and just couldn't quite finish just in those first half or so. I think the girls played really well. I think it was one of those games that we didn't deserve to lose, but I mean, kudos to Queenstown, because that's the whole point, is to get the goals.
Yeah.
It was really good to get back, to be honest. I've missed it. The last 20 minutes felt like something different, you know. It's always rough coming off an injury, but coming back, I just felt like I slid back into place, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a game under my belt or two before the season finishes, which should be good.
Now, in the Kate Shepherd Cup game, Dean Tech were beaten by very good Coastal Spirit side 8-0. Disappointing result for them, to be sure, but probably beaten by the better team on the day there.
And it looks like we are out of time. So thanks for joining us this week on Football Chat. We'll be taking a well-deserved break next week. But don't you worry, viewers, we will be back on the 28th for the next show.
Yes, Rahan and I are going to tear up the slopes of Treble Cone, but we will be back. We know that for some people, this is the highlight of their week, so we can't wait to be back.
Still to come on the South today. After an 8-year hiatus, the Kingston Flyers back on track, and we take a look at tomorrow's weather for you. So see you after the break.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. We have a massive manufacturer's clearance plus. There's liquidated stock from our suppliers. For example, we have cotton casual trousers from 1990, dress trousers from 1990, merino zip pullovers, fashion shirts, warm winter shirts, jackets. There's a great deal on overcoats, blazers and suits. Come and check out our jeans. We're known for our jean selection.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Come in and see the massive manufacturer's clearance at Alex Campbell Menswear.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Thanks for staying with us. The vintage Kingston Flyer train experience is officially back on track. For the first time since the previous owner mothballed it 8 years ago, the train can now commercially operate on the 14-kilometre long railway line. The train, which dates back to the 1870s, took 2 tour groups earlier this year, and now Queenstown Lakes District Council resource consent allows public trips as well. The company behind the venture is describing it as a massive step forward. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. A Dunedin couple is facing a choice of 2 large bills after they encounter retaining wall issues on their Mosgiel property. Youngsters have taken up the challenge of learning how to build at the New Zealand Science Festival's Imagination Station. And Dunedin's Bell Hill Apartments are open for business after their building's lavish transformation is completed. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry. What have you got for us tomorrow?
Hello, Melissa. Well, lots of news stories tomorrow and entertainment as well. The Three Waters support packages were announced by the government today with 164 million for councils in the south. But the question is, will they accept it? So we've gone to get reaction from a variety of mayors and they have their opinions on that. So look out for that. Farmers are taken to the streets in protest tomorrow, but they are worried their message could be lost if some take their anger at the government too far. So we'll have to look out for that tomorrow. But
yeah.
That should be a pretty significant demonstration of their feelings. So we'll be following that closely tomorrow. So what were Jacinda Ardern and Grant Robinson thinking of when they approved 2.7 million grant to a chapter of the Mongrel Mob? So our columnist Chris Trotter on the opinion page has his say on that issue. So look out for that. Sports lift out tomorrow, another big one. Well, we continue our build up to the Tokyo Olympics, which is, well, what is it, 6 or 7 days away, so
just under
not far away.
Just under a week.
So we look at that. We also look at the All Black Test versus Fiji, so 9 changes, I think, to that team. And they'll be looking for an improvement on the Dunedin Test. So even though they won by a significant number of points, nobody's ever satisfied, are they? But
no.
But this is probably one of his strongest teams, so we'll see how they go.
It'll be interesting to see, and you can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. Now it's time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with today's southern view, looking towards Stewart Street from a driveway. Looking at the situation, rain may be heavy inland tomorrow with some thunderstorms. An unsettled weekend ahead with areas of rain and mostly cloudy skies for many places. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, where it's a wet day tomorrow with moderate temperatures for this time of year. Rain and 15 degrees for Greymouth, and Westport is the same with 14 degrees. Moving to the northeast, the rain continues over on the east side for Nelson and Blenheim, and you're both heading for a high of 14 degrees. Moving to Canterbury, showers for both Kaikoura and Christchurch and rain for Ashburton. Kaikoura heads for 15 degrees, 14 for Christchurch and 13 degrees for Ashburton, so have the umbrellas and raincoats ready. Moving to the southern towns, decreasing northwesterlies with rain clearing for all here with 12 degrees in Lumsden, the Catlins, Balclutha and Gore. Moving to central Otago, Queenstown and Wanaka will see strong northwesterlies with some very heavy rain and 11 degrees. Alexandra and Tiana are the same. The rain will not be so heavy in Alexandra. Tiana may see the occasional showers throughout the day. Moving to the northern towns, you can expect strong northwesterlies, rain with 11 degrees on the coast in Timaru and Oamaru, while inland it's strong northwesterlies for you also and heavy rain with 11 degrees also, so it's a good day to stay inside. In Dunedin, rain tonight with gusty northerlies and an overnight low of 8. Tomorrow morning rain clears followed by dry but cloudy weather throughout the afternoon with fresh to strong northerlies, a high of 11 and a low of 7. And it's mostly cloudy but dry on Saturday with lighter westerly winds, but some rain will develop during the evening. Expect a high of 10 and a low of 7. And in Invercargill, rain tonight with strong northerlies with a low of 8. Cloudy tomorrow with early rain easing to showers, and fresh to strong northwesterlies will decrease during the day, a high of 13 and a low of 9. There's more showers on Saturday with fresh westerly winds, a high of 11 and a low of 8. That's all for our news for this Thursday. We leave you this evening with the second part in our look at the life of Archibald Baxter, and we'll conclude the 3-part series on tomorrow night's bulletin. For the latest news from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
They were basically tied to a pole in a way which meant that the blood drained down to their feet and became excruciatingly painful. The pole was tilted forward. You're supposed to only have this punishment for 8 hours, which was, again, above and beyond human endurance. And in one instance, on 2 instances actually, Baxter was basically left there for 12 and 13.
With this piece here, we're trying to depict the man and the pole in his, he's in a state of torture, but I'm also trying to show him in a state of grace, a place that he went to control the pain and the suffering that he was, which was massive. He never ever gave in. It's just quite incredible.
Most of them gave up when they were shipped to the front lines, and some became stretcher bearers.
But Archibald didn't.
Archibald didn't, Mark Briggs didn't, and a number of others didn't.
As far as military service goes, I am in the same mind as ever. It is impossible for me to serve in the army. I would 1,000 times rather be put to death, and I'm sure you will believe that the stand I take is right. I have never told you since I left New Zealand of the things I have passed through, for I knew how it would hurt you. I only tell you now so that if anything happens to me, you will know.
Pretty emaciated and mentally exhausted.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.